devastating betrayal on paternity court.
You okay? I know. You had to know. You want to sit down? You okay?
Wait.
We're going to have some resources for you. We're going to help you just talk through this. I know this is not what you want to hear. Be clear. You did not just cheat him. You cheated her. Cheated her. You knew it could be a possibility.
And I'm afraid I'm gonna lose my husband and my family over this.
Well, this is my point. You're thinking about yourself.
Hold on tight for the Woody versus Wilson roller coaster. Michael Woody and Devonna Wilson, the stars of this dramatic tale, are getting into the nitty-gritty of the whole paternity situation. It's like a soap opera, and they're front and center dealing with the twists and turns of their story.
I have a 3-year-old daughter already, so when I found out I was having a son, I was excited because what man doesn't want to have a junior, you know? So I got plans made, you know, I'm ready to go play baseball and basketball with them and, you know, all the stuff a father's supposed to do with a son. So I'm just ready, so I'm ready to be a father to a boy now.
Standing at the podium, Michael Woody talks about why he has doubts. The courtroom gets quiet as he shares his side. Devonna Wilson wants a dad for her son, and that's her plea echoing through the room.
So this is a message from Devonna Wilson. I'm pregnant, so I hope you know we're getting a DNA test when the baby's born, and I'm hitting you up with this child support. I'll see you in court. That's your first? You're gonna be a father?
Hello.
Way harsh, Miss Wilson.
The climax arrives with the unveiling of DNA results, a moment pregnant with both fear and expectation. The revelation is a seismic jolt. Michael Woody is not the biological father. The gas that sweeps through the courtroom echoes the shattered illusions of parenthood.
She's always said that to me out the gate. She's always said, we need a DNA test, we're gonna get it. She's said that to me out the gate, so that wasn't anything new to me. But then she also told me out of her own mouth that her friends or her family is saying that my son looked like her ex-boyfriend.
Oh.
Judge Lake, a beacon of compassion, consoles devastated Devonna and guides bewildered Michael. The courtroom becomes a cocoon of vulnerability, exposing human connections' fragility and the human spirit's resilience. Woody versus Wilson leaves an indelible mark, a tale of love tested by doubt, a journey through parenthood's labyrinth, and a reminder that heart-forged bonds endure the harshest truths.
2-month-old Michael Woody Jr. Mr. Woody, you are not his father.
What?
Jerome, will you please have her sit down?
Here comes the twist in Webb versus Forrest. The central showdown revolves around the paternity puzzle of 2-year-old Elena Forrest. Picture this. Mr. Webb, the one making the claim, says Miss Forrest vanished, and the bomb about the pregnancy only dropped after he woke up from a coma. Now the real kicker? Nobody's certain if Mr. Webb or Miss Forrest's husband is the biological dad. It's a real head-scratcher in this family saga.
Miss Forrest, how did you get yourself in this triangle?
My husband got in some trouble and I ended up meeting Mr. Webb through one of my friends. We hit it off and then I ended up leaving Mr. Forrest for Mr. Webb.
So you began a sexual relationship?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and were you using protection at the time?
No, Your Honor.
Miss Forrest, the defendant, insists that she has no doubt about her husband being Elena's father, and is desperate to put an end to the ongoing drama. Mr. Webb, however, expresses his intention to fight for full custody rights if the DNA test confirms his paternity.
Miss Forrest, you and your husband are here today, desperate to put an end to this drama. You say you have no doubt your daughter's biological father is indeed your husband.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Webb, what are your intentions today if the DNA determines that you are the biological father?
My intentions are to fight for full custody rights if she is my daughter.
The courtroom exchanges reveal a complex relationship history, marked by a series of events including Miss Forrest leaving Mr. Webb, a hospitalization, and subsequent doubts about paternity. Miss Forrest argues that Mr. Webb showed disinterest during her pregnancy, while Mr. Webb contends that he was denied access to Elena his alleged daughter.
We have set up dates. Whenever she told me that I could meet Elena, I spent the last $80 I had to put in gas. She had backed out, changed her phone number, and blocked me on Facebook. 3 weeks later,
And that's like
I
every
moved
number
back
I
to
get from you,
Tennessee
it's always
and tried
changed.
to contact her to meet Elena, and she would not contact me back.
Amidst accusations and emotional confrontations, the court orders a DNA test to determine Elena's biological father. The results, presented with dramatic flair by Judge Lake, reveal that Mr. Webb is indeed Elena's biological father.
Be clear, you did not just cheat him, you cheated her. Cheated her. You knew it could be a possibility.
And I'm afraid I'm gonna lose my husband and my family over this.
Well, this is my point. You're thinking about yourself.
The emotional aftermath in the courtroom exposes the pain, betrayal, and selfishness involved. Judge Lake chastises Miss Forrest for her actions, emphasizing the impact on Elena. The court session concludes with Mr. Webb granted the opportunity to meet his daughter for the first time in the judge's chambers, highlighting the complex and deeply personal nature of paternity disputes.
I think you need to step outside of yourself and your own selfishness and allow him to see his daughter in my chambers for the first time, so that maybe for the first time, her mother can stop thinking about herself.
In the Threcold versus Threcold saga, the court got into the nitty-gritty with a mix of marital drama and paternity questions. Mr. Threcold, a military guy, pointed fingers at his wife, saying she wasn't faithful, and he wanted a paternity test for their 18-month-old daughter, Lelina. Mrs. Threcold spilled the beans, admitting to exotic dancing because money was tight and confessing to some slip-ups while her husband was serving overseas. It's a tangled tale of relationships and revelations.
Actually, ma'am, I was overseas in Afghanistan, and I was at up in the Northeast, and a soldier of mine came up to me and tapped me on the boot, said, "Hey, I need to go outside. We need to talk right now." So earlier on in the day, me and him got into some words, so I thought we were gonna, settle it. Well, it turns out his wife and my wife were friends, and she had found out that she was actually stripping as we spoke.
The narrative unfolded with Mr. Threcold discovering his wife's alleged infidelity through a fellow soldier while deployed. Upon his return, he confronted her about the situation, leading to arguments and a strained relationship. Mrs. Threcold justified her actions by citing financial struggles and an argument that supposedly ended their marriage.
We were not together. We had a phone conversation, and he had said, "We're gonna get a divorce, and I'll send you the divorce papers." And then we hung up.
I told her, "Look, if you're gonna strip after me and you," she says,
There was reasons why I needed to.
she needed the funds to support her family. Overseas,
Yeah,
I
we
was
do.
making
No.
$4,000 to $5,000
Your Honor,
tax-free a month.
The courtroom drama intensified as Mr. Threcold revealed his attempt to influence the situation by intentionally trying to impregnate his wife, hoping it would deter her from exotic dancing. This revelation added a layer of complexity to an already tumultuous relationship.
I'm sitting there under a streetlight with my army bag on one side and a suitcase on the other.
No, I was waiting in the car for 30 minutes.
Your Honor,
He
actually-
never showed up.
Wait. You waited in the car, so when they called his name, he says no one was there to clap or cheer. Did you hear them call his name?
We weren't at the airport. I was waiting across from his unit.
The case climaxed with DNA results confirming Mr. Threcold as Lelinia's father. Emotions varied, including relief and a recognition of the need for reconciliation. The judge emphasized moving forward, rebuilding the marriage, and contributing to family restoration. The couple, willing to make amends, hinted at a potential turning point in their tumultuous journey.
I mean, it's all together. I'm happy because I know she's his, so I would like to work on everything.
Well, ma'am, there's a reason why, because since the day it's happened, since February 2011 to be exact when I found out, there has not been a day that's gone by that I haven't let her not relive the mistakes she made.
I appreciate your honesty.
The courtroom drama unfolds in Miller versus Rasmuson, centering on the paternity dispute involving 3-year-old Zaylee Rasmuson. Tensions rise as Miss Miller seeks to prove that Mr. Rasmussen is not the biological father, citing a history of denied DNA test requests. Mr. Rasmussen contends that her motive is rooted in personal animosity, alleging her reluctance to allow visitation is financially motivated.
She hates me because at the end of the relationship, when I did go to another woman.
No. He cheated on me through pretty much our whole relationship. I believe that the only reason why he wants the visitation is to claim her on his taxes.
That is furthest thing from the truth. My daughter means the world to me. I want to be in her life as much as I possibly can.
The backstory reveals Mr. Rasmussen's admission of infidelity, causing Miss Miller's loss of respect. Amid accusations and counterclaims, the court delves into the complexity of custody arrangements and child support.
Ms. Miller, you were stating to the court that you were clearly at some point, Mr. Rasmussen either was informed that he was her biological father because he is paying child support, he's still driving 160 miles each way, and she has his last name.
The turning point arrives with the judge ordering a DNA test to settle the paternity dispute. An air of anticipation engulfs the courtroom as both parties await the results. In a dramatic revelation, the DNA test confirms that Mr. Rasmussen is not Zaylee's biological father.
That's a lot of nerve considering the alternative is somebody that don't want nothing to do with you. You just showed me where your priorities were right there. That cheering you did? I'm a single mother with nobody to love me on my child. What you cheering for?
I'm not.
No, you were. He is over here breaking down because he loves this child so much.
Emotions erupt. Mr. Rasmussen is devastated, expressing his deep love for Zaylee. However, Miss Miller's celebratory reaction draws a stern rebuke from Judge Lake, who emphasizes the gravity of the situation and the potential impact on Zaylee's life.
Sitting here day after day with women hoping a man would drive 16 miles to see their baby, much less 160 miles each way, and abide by a court order and sign a birth certificate and come day after day and week after week so they can grow visitation to have a relationship with the child. And you have no compassion for not just him, but for Zaylee. She's 3 years old.
Amid the somber atmosphere, the judge urges Miss Miller to consider the consequences of her actions and recommends counseling for both parties. The court session concludes with a palpable sense of sadness, leaving Mr. Rasmussen grappling with shattered expectations and uncertainty about the future dynamics between the parties and Zaylee's paternity.
Mr. Rasmussen, I am so sorry. I know this hurts you.
Thank you, Your Honor. She's my whole world.
Your child deserves to know who her father is, wants to be in her life, physically present. He does have a legal obligation to help support her financially. It's important that you make this right.
In the legal dispute of Hayes versus Hayes, the family's tangled web unraveled as emotions ran high. Michelle Hayes accused her sister Shayna of betraying their sister bond by engaging in an affair with Michelle's husband of 10 years, Corey Hill. Shayna in turn defended her actions, expressing regret and acknowledging her troubled past, marked by drug addiction and homelessness.
Your Honor, I went to Chicago after not hearing from her for 7 years. The one time I did hear from her, she didn't even know who I was on the phone. She walks up to me and she weighs 56 pounds, has sores all over her. We left Chicago at Sunday morning. I'm getting her dressed. I'm putting clothes on this child to take her back to Houston with me.
The heart of the matter lay in the paternity of Shayna's 10-month-old daughter, Kayla. Michelle vehemently doubted Corey's ability to father a child due to his history of failed paternity claims with other women. Shayna, desperate for a resolution, sought a paternity test to prove Corey's parentage. Amidst accusations, tears, and family turmoil, Judge Lake delivered the long-awaited results.
I looked at a beautiful little girl on this screen, and all I can think is she deserves more than this. I think it's time to reveal the results. Mr. Hill, you are her father.
To the relief of Shayna and Corey, the DNA test revealed that Corey is indeed Kayla's biological father. The revelation brought mixed emotions to the courtroom. Corey expressed his commitment to being a responsible father, acknowledging past mistakes with other children he believed were his. Shayna tearfully apologized for her actions and sought understanding from her sister.
What I was back then, I'm not today. A time frame to grow and get better, and I'm sorry that I didn't make the right decision, but I'm doing the best I can. I'm gonna do my best.
Your Honor, I would just like to say that I hope that in the near future, that me and their relationship, because at the end of the day, I never wanted to break two sisters apart, separate them, or have them feeling the way they feel right now.
Judge Lake, in her customary wisdom, urged the family to focus on the best interest of the child. She encouraged Michelle to find closure and rebuild her relationship with Shayna outside the shadow of past grievances. The judge also emphasized the importance of Mr. Hill signing the birth certificate, cementing his legal role in Kayla's life.
Ms. Hayes, Michelle, you've said that you've moved on, and I am hoping you will a relationship with your sister that can exist outside of just this man. Mr. Hill is the father. Can you move forward? The court will provide you with drug counseling resources. You continue your healing. You must do this.